Well, that is the scoreline equalized. That is Sprout getting themselves the victory on their opponent's map choice. And that leaves us with Mirage. One more map to go to decide who goes, well, basically through into the next matchup, into tomorrow, and who is on their way home, of course. And well, to be honest, it really is just a flip-up at this point. We've had both teams perform well. We've had decent performances across the board. I want to point out something to you, Risk. It does include overtime, but at the moment, Innocent has dropped 32 kills in both maps.
That's insane.
He's having a damn good performance, and the last one was in regulation, and they still lost. So it's definitely been one of the more questionable matches for the rest of the team. Like Stomp definitely didn't perform. 11 and 20 for your AWPer, that's just not enough. They needed more from him there, and I think Searson definitely ruled that battle in that map. Other than Innocent, he was the top fragger in the whole server.
Yeah, definitely. Stomp is probably the one player, and you shouldn't pick like individuals out, but if you look at the statistics, it points a pretty clear image of who needs to pick it up here on map 3. And once again, like, he can do it. We know that Stomp can be like hit or miss for this team, so he's, in my opinion, missed a little bit on both maps, so now it's time for a hit, a big one.
Yeah, I think throughout the tournament, like he had a decent map. I think it was a Nuke, where like he was at least playing quite well, 25 and 22, not a bad map overall, but at the same time, I don't think he's been that sort of star performer like we see like in the online matches, one of the better players for this squad, and it's had to be some of the more experienced players in Reeds and Innocent to actually pick up the slack elsewhere. And I don't think that in a map like Mirage, where it is much more of a brawly map, like the first two are CT side, like strongholds, where the T side have to grind out rounds, they have to be strategical in the way that they actually get themselves into the map. Whereas Mirage, it's fairly default at this point. Like it is set strategies. It's as basic as can be. Everybody kind of knows what's going to be happening.
No one has anything extra up their sleeve on Mirage. No one has a strat that the other team hasn't seen before. Everyone knows everything. It all what it comes down to is how you execute and how you play individually on this map, and that's also why it can be strategically one of the less interesting maps to watch. But individually and like firepower-wise, Mirage can be the most fun of all.
Yeah, for sure. No, I'd agree with that. Like when it comes to the battles in middle, like opening picks, a lot of the time you see more fast-paced gameplay where teams are going to go running into that B side just to try and like brute force one of these rounds. But either way, enough talking about what could happen in the map. We're going to get into Mirage. It will be the final map within these series. One of the teams after this is going home.
That's not a good way to go.
No, it's not.
Don't want that to happen.
Oh, we've got a little bit of an investment into a P250 and quite a lot of nades actually on the side of Sprout.
He's dueling and he's finding a kill with a P2K. Stomp on the CT position, not being smoked out at all. He's taking the duels, but Reeds now, ready and waiting.
Yeah, Oscar's position could be so, well, important, but to be honest, it doesn't really seem like it matters because they've just been absolutely slaughtered. A flawless pistol coming out from Illuminar.
Oscar is without losing a single point of health.
Yeah, especially when he's the most aggressive player in that round as well, like pushing all the way up into the Palace. Nice shots onto Quito as well, who even invested into the P250 just so he had a little bit of advantage range-wise, and then ends up coming out from the Palace just to close the round. So, yeah, not a single kill coming in. It means that the investment onto Quito of that Deeg, he kind of needs to get a kill if he's going to have too much going forward into the next round. He'll have enough for a bare bones AK and armor.
Stomp has a chance to do something here in the round, but Quito steps back in with the Deagle. We know him, he's always a guarantee for one. It's very rare that he doesn't get one kill when he has that Deagle, but the rest of the round is done. At least Quito got the Deagle kill. Yeah. That's the most important thing.
That one kill. Again, was it Innocent who got 4 there? I feel like he's always the man to just clean things up in those rounds, but nonetheless.
The Eco Cobra.
Yeah, the Eco King. King Cobra. There you go. It works together.
Of course it was Innocent.
That's the thing. I wasn't certain, but I was like, there was something there with a 4K.
Surely.
Let's just guess it was him.
It was a good guess. I'll give you that.
Well, seems like there's going to be a slight pause. Of course, we will be now going into Sprout's buy round, so this is going to be the moment where we kind of expect them to do a little bit more. That one kill will mean that maybe an extra bit of utility or an SG can be invested into for Keto, who has definitely been the most consistent player when it comes to that Sprout roster. I think the last map was actually one of his more quiet maps, if anything. And well, there you go. He will have that little bit extra. Still limitations when it comes to their utility, but they definitely have the advantage in the weaponry department.
Oh, for sure. Also because they're kind of running bonus on 2 players on the CT side, which is the correct choice, I feel like. Sprout with a big chance here.
Oh no. Dennis.
Yeah.
Already going to be exploiting the connector. Gets him that opening pick.
And the reason why he could get in there is because they're stacking 2 players on the ramp right now. Will it pay off? 2 for 1, so it's even. Can he get the 3rd one, Oscar? Not going to be able to.
He knew he needed to fight that as well, just because of Dennis's position. He was wary that he was going to get caught from behind. Dennis instead is just opting to try and hold off the rotations on other positions of the map. It would just be whether or not Innocent can do anything here, and no. Keto ready and waiting. Mono left without much of a chance. Just needs to try and retrieve that rifle.
That position with the SG, there's nothing you can do. It's an off angle, and he's scoped in towards CT, so like there is no chance.
Well, he is going to be there to close out the round as well, so straight onto the board for the Ts. And we mentioned it's one of those rounds where you kind of have to keep those SMGs in play, but at the same time, going into this round, there's not going to be much money for the CT side.
No, there's going to be 2 players who could fully buy, and then 3 players who wouldn't really be able to, so they're going to just... Wow, okay, they're going to force buy into it. Interesting choice. All on the same page now, money-wise, and taking a chance, Illuminar, but we've seen them do this before. We've seen them have success with it as well. Deagles and 3 weapons. We saw that on Train. Keto with the boost in middle. Smoke fades, and he'll get his chance.
Oh.
That's unfortunate timing.
Yeah, the timing not quite there from Innocent. Gets away with one, but...
Good nade.
They need to find something here, because they are at such a disadvantage weaponry and utility-wise on the CT side. That's why we're seeing them be a little bit more aggressive in their plays. We're seeing peaks coming in. Oh, okay, Mono. Tagged by the Molotov, tagged by the gun, but he's the one that hits the headshot. Retrieval of that weapon might be quite difficult, but there isn't actually anybody on that side of the map. Innocent gonna re-aggress and times it well. Nothing Spitty can do about that, and the gun has been retrieved, leaving with a 2-man advantage and only 1 man now without a weapon.
Faven also taken down there by Stomp. Stomp actually pushing aggressively into the Palace in perfect round. Picture perfect, one would say. 5 people surviving. Very nice. How does that happen, Tom?
Oh, you expect me to break that down?
Yeah.
I thought this was the other way around, where
Okay.
like, you know,
well,
hey, Risk, how do you think that happened?
First of all, in a direct 1v1 between a Deagle and a Creek, the Deagle wins that. That shouldn't happen. Second of all, the utility wasn't really used well enough. Actually, the CT side were even more successful with theirs, even though they had less.
A lot less.
Sometimes less is more, Tom.
If that helps you sleep at night, you know.
I don't think it does anything either way.
Oh.
And now they have CT AUG, or not AUGs, but CTSGs.
Yeah, this is just an
What can you do?
slaughter.
What can you really do?
Not much of an investment into this round from Sprout. They know that they'll be able to get rifles back into the next round. But a flawless round, 2 back-to-back flawless rounds actually from the CT side, meaning they've built up a big bank to start things off within this CT half, and it's going to be up to Sprout to break it. Yet to really see anybody wake up on the server. It's only been Keto to do any real damage in the 1 round that they managed to win. And obviously Dennis's aggressive play. But yeah, there's already enough money for basically a flawless rebuy in the next round for Illuminar if everything does go wrong into this one. Stomp's nade actually does a lot of damage to Searson, more than expected.
The utility damage from just grenades alone from Illuminar so far has been really on point. Searson, luckily for him, has an AWP, so if he has 45 or 46 HP or 100, doesn't really matter. The second that he misses his first shot in an open duel, he's dead anyway. So if you had to have one player go down on HP, he's probably the one you would want.
Dennis, again, just trying to play around this connector area. It's going to be Searson to actually get that opening pick. How has Dennis managed to get past this? Eventually, Oscarish will finish him off. It seems like Spinny still didn't really realize where he was, but eventually will find the trade. A lot of damage actually done to the remaining members of this team, but Keto just comes running out of the palace, decapitates Reeds, and leaves these remaining CT players completely out of the action.
Kits on both of them. Smoke on Stomp.
Spitty pretty much puts this round to bed. I'm not expecting Mono to win a 1 versus 4.
Nah.
Even if he did have a better performance in the last map, it hasn't really been within his repertoire. May just look to try and make things a little bit costly for his opponents, who are, or at least one of them is going to be exiting in this direction. That could be a free SG. And they actually have to change their mind. They look like they were all going to go in that direction. We'll get far enough away from the bomb that nobody goes down. And there you go. Slight upgrade, at least, for Mono.
Yeah. Just happy about that. Always happy when you can get an SG on the CT side. And once again, the kind of the fading smoke comes into play in the position there towards the stairs. Nice play by Speedy as well. And Keto coming out of the apartment. 10-2 for Oscarish. Stomp on the other side, only 2 frags for him.
I'm interested to know how he took that much damage. Was there an HE thrown into the window? Or was he just tagged? He went down to 56 very early on in the round. They're going to be rushing right out. Oscarish a little bit lucky to even get a kill from that scenario, but nice little transition coming out of Reeds.
Look at the timing on the smoke. They thought they had the smoke towards the jungle, but it didn't land yet. And the jungle player just had free reign to take the duel. That is, yeah. They'll look back at that in the demo and say, okay, we should have waited to push like 3 seconds. The smoke would have been down. We would have had a way better chance. Missed timing from Sprout will cost them the round.
Yeah, and the same just there from Searson. Fails the jump. And again, we're going to see this double orb setup actually thrown in by the CT side. Something quite common on Mirage. This time, Innocent picking up the secondary. He has played very well so far, well, pretty much throughout the day. As said, 32 kills in the last 2 maps.
Yeah.
Looking to try and get that much again. I think if he gets that much on Mirage without an overtime, they should easily win. Like, it's much more of a map where if you're getting that high numbers, you should be dragging your team through. And it's almost impressive that they lost the last map considering he did so well.
This is a big chance for Sprite right now because Illuminar only has 1 player on this B side and it's Mono, and he's probably the one that you would like to face the most, either him or Stomp. Molotov will slow them down though.
Yeah, as I said before, we saw it on the B-side train. He is the man that gets left with a lot of the tough roles for this Illuminar side. Like, it's no wonder that when he has a bad game, it really does seem to go wrong. Because they're basically, he's the B-side defender on train, he's the B-side defender on this map, he's the ramp player when it comes to Nuke as well. So he's pretty much given all of the stinker roles.
Yep. Unfortunate, this one will also be quite easy for the CT side, surely, with the weaponry that they have at their disposal. No one fallen yet from the CTs. Searson trying to make it happen, but surely not. Perfect round for the CT side of Illuminar.
I think that might even be the 3rd one that they've had as well. I think they had a lot of clean rounds. They had the one where they managed to win with like the 4 spy. They had the one just after that, and just now, obviously, getting another. So the rounds they are winning, they're keeping ridiculously clean, making themselves a decent amount of money. And now financially going forward, you're almost just looking at Sprout again saying, you now have to break this economy. You have to set them back and do more damage in some of your anti-eco rounds. Otherwise, it's going to get tougher and tougher to break the CT side defense down.
So what now, Sprout? What's the play? All the money invested, all the utility at their disposal, all the weaponry. What's the idea? For now, it looks like a B split, but anything can happen.
Again, Sprout, just patient play. I think they're expecting Illuminar to get a little bit more aggressive at this point of the map, but oh, maybe they're right. I don't think Innocent will have any idea that there's going to be a player just around that corner.
Oh, now he knows.
He will now. I could just kill him through the wall, or at least attempt to.
I think you have to be spot on with the head to do that. I'm not even sure if that wall is bangable. He takes a big chance here.
Timing. Oh, until he hits the shot through the wall. Gets Dennis down to just 9 HP as they look for this execution. Mono is so ridiculously blind, and in fact, it's sectioned off from his teammate. Luckily, the rotations come in for reach, but even he can't save his teammate. Bomb down, though. 29 seconds left as they're just going to try and hold the angles onto it. I think Searson knows they're going to try and peek this one together, and they do find the kills necessary. Oscarish now, is he going to have any idea that there's a man to the right? Faven just waiting in that corner. The missed jump is going to give everything away, but Faven goes for the peek. Well, he hits the shot. A bit of a risk, but it doesn't matter in the end. It's another round on the board for Sprout.
It comes down to basically the aggression of the AWP. If the AWP just stayed back, held that angle, picked up the first kill, not taking any damage, stayed, maybe rotated to bench, that would have been possible, but he was forced out due to him basically wanting to over-peek it. But it's always easier to see when we can see through the walls and everything, but that has to be the one thing that you kind of have to like pinpoint as the mistake made. Double up setup once again for the CT side. Missing utility on Stomp, missing a Molotov on Innocent, none of them with kits. Important round money-wise if we look at it for both teams right now.
I feel like Mono already knew he was there. I know, like there's such a risk. Like jumped a minute ago, heard the AWP shot, and then jumped again.
He just wants to play around a bit, you know?
Yeah, but I don't think I've ever played a game of whack-a-mole and thought, you know what, I really want to be the mole. Like, it's not something that sounds fun to me.
Well,
neither does being brutally shot in the face by an AWP.
Don't knock it till you try it, Tom, okay?
I feel like that's something you only try once.
Yeah, probably.
Not Innocent. Aggressive position. He's
also
gonna find that opening pick.
He can do everything, that man.
It does seem like it at the moment for this team. He has been phenomenal throughout. Currently second on the board only to Oscarish, but I think he may have just evened things up a little bit. The Molotov will force him into the corner, but he has a crossfire with his team, and they actually have 3 players on the B side. And missed shot as well. That was a freebie for Searson. The flashbang set him up. They're going to try and set up Searson once again, but instead his teammate drops the bait and switch, but without a switch, and leaves the German AWPer alone in a 1 versus 5. Again, looking for another clean round, and again, Illuminar are going to find it. So much cash in the bank, and nothing really coming up now for Sprout. And again, it's a similar scenario to what we saw on the first map. They win a round, they lose 2 back. They win a round, they lose 2 back. Well, they won a round, and they just lost another.
It's becoming problematic for the Germans, definitely. And on the back of that, taking a timeout, I think that's the right call. Things aren't working right now. Need to talk through it, as we can see. Communication throughout the team. And the boys here need to find a solution. Because we're on map 3. It doesn't go any further than this. First to 16, you know, like they're down with 4 rounds. And on an eco. This is a tough place to be, man.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem as well. Like, there's not really a way that you can get properly reset anymore.
Yeah.
But the way that you can make it almost possible is just by winning a round and then only losing 2. Because your loss bonus does build, but very, very slowly. And so financially, they're not able to just continuously string these buys together. But they're still losing quite significantly at this point in time. They're going to try and pressure into the connector. Stomp with a missed shot, leaves Reitz alone, but he's going to do a decent amount of damage. Good secondary nade thrown in will give Innocent another kill.
Molotov as well, just to clear it out. Making sure that they can only be short and in mid. Plays a short frag. Actually, no reason for Innocent to peek this right now, but he's rotating back. That's the right choice. Very nicely done. Just making sure that even though this is already done, like, you're not taking any chances.
Well, 8-3 now, already the half one on Mirage. And Mirage, out of all the maps that we played, is definitely the more balanced. You can see teams win it on either side. If you see a team win the T side of either Train or Nuke, you're a little bit worried for whoever's on the other side.
Yeah, and the other side does too. Like, if you see a team win CT does too, you're kind of wondering, oh, okay, what's going on here?
Aggression once again from Oscarish. I don't think he spotted the man on the angle. Bit of a messy spray coming out from Keto, but he gets the kill nonetheless. Utility minimal for the T side. If they are going to go for an execution, it would just be smokes. There'll be no Molotovs behind it. But with that man advantage, all they really need to do now is just effectively trade. But I worry for Keto if he is going to go for the peak. I imagine off the jump spot, he probably knows the Innocent's there. Aggressive peek from Stomp as well. Not only gets the kill, but drops the bomb. And there's actually nobody there to pick it up. The bomb was alone. A little bit unlucky, though, for Innocent. And both entry kills onto the side come in. In fact, the third is even added in. It's left on to Mono watching the cross. It's possible, though. And they do have a lot of money still in the bank, so I wonder if he might give this a go.
Yeah, they should. They should at least like get him in there to see how many weapons he can take out. At this point, with money being so low on the Sprout side, if you can take 2 frags out, still not winning the round, but if you can just take 2 of them, that's perfect. That's a trade they'll be happy to make. So let's see. What kind of damage can you do here, Mono? Just holding the angles. Very standard spots right now. The last 3 actually behind him, and Spitty will win the duel. So no frags coming in. Disappointed there. But bouncing straight back with a buy.
Yeah, that's the one thing that the CTs have had as a big advantage is because they've been able to win a lot of these rounds so clean. They have been able to build up a bank, and weirdly, we are looking at a sort of odd pattern emerging on the scoreboard at the moment. 2-1, 2-1, 2-1, 2-1.
Yeah.
So realistically, if we continue on that, we should be looking at a 10-5 half.
Don't mess with the system, man.
We'll see. We'll see. Maybe someone will break it along the way. For Sprout's case, I hope they do, because otherwise they might be in a little bit of trouble. Once again, though, AWP onto Stomp. Innocent not going to be bringing in the secondary this time. I think Reitz probably could have dropped him one if he wanted to, but decided against it this time. He has been relatively successful with it, so it may just be down to a change in position. Stomp once again, same aggression. He's going to be going very aggressive into the push, and that's actually the bomb. If he can get this kill, he wins them the round, but instead he's going to be forced back. Faven going to run all the way through the Molotov, and Stomp doesn't react. The spray through from Reitz hits nothing, and Keto gets 2 instant headshots with that SG. A 5th brought onto the board. The chain, the combo has been broken.
That was a 3v5 with the 3 players on the C side just getting 5 frags in a space of, what, 12 seconds?
Not bad.
That's insane. Very nicely done. And Keto once again securing us. Like that run and gun with the SG 2 frags. I don't know how he makes it happen continuously, but he definitely knows what he's doing. Very nicely played by him. Another pause taken by Illuminar. The first one here on Mirage.
Yeah, they haven't really needed to just yet, but I guess the way that the rounds have been going, it's sort of like you haven't necessarily strung them together. It's just that you've been able to counter back quite well. You've had some big individual plays. Once again, we're looking at the likes of Innocent and Reitz leading the scoreboard. It's the same personnel, really, the experience shining through for Illuminar. Whereas on the other side, it's youth. Like Keto's been the main man to watch. Top of the board once again.
Right now we do have the full eco for Illuminar, so Sprout will get on that 6. Question is, can they get a couple of frags? It's going to be very unlikely, very hard for the CT side to get anything done in the round, and they will not.
Well, their stat padding, 8-6. Again, it's getting flashbacks to Nuke a little bit, where they have a very good half overall, but then right at the end is where we actually see Sprout come alive a little bit and make this competitive.
Last couple rounds here. Reached round 15 of the first half. Full buy for both teams, of course. And actually decent utility on both sides. Lots of money to spare on the T side, though. Interesting that they didn't go for full SGs. But maybe they are just good people and use AKs instead. Good on you, Sprout. Good on you.
Oh, they may be good people, but they're not winning this round at the moment. Lost the early pick. Searson, the big green, looking for an opener back in. There's already 3 players around this A site area. It's definitely been the favored, so that's why you can see a little bit more aggression coming away from that B site. You've got to watch for the man in under. Oscar.
So much space, but he's in the middle of the smoke. Will die. Stomp has to come out with something huge right now. Will get flashed, and now they know his position. Very hard for him to do anything. And this position by Reeds is already known. Backstab coming in. Stomp will have to make a play. He will hit one, actually, not the one he thought. But Reeds, not still. The backstab hasn't happened. Reeds will get the chance. Now surely the frag comes in, but it's down to a 1v1.
Yeah, Mono boosted up. I don't know if they'll expect him to be up here. Bomb in such a horrible position for Spitty as well, and the timed peak works wonderfully. A 9-6 half. Illuminar finishing with the lead, which I think is definitely deserved in the end, but we'll see whether or not they're going to be able to continue this as they head into their T side after the break. Potentially the last half within this series. A 9-6 scoreline currently in the favor of the Polish side, but it was a brawl backwards and forwards all the way through. We head straight into our pistol round risk.
Let's see if Keto can hit as many hits as the AT&T guy hit high fives in that little segment there, like that. Very nicely done. It's gonna be the B execute. 2 smokes ready and waiting now. Could be the short block off, could be the window block off. It's gonna be the focus towards the market. But Speedy is ready. Like, he has nothing to cancel him out.
This is problematic, but if Speedy goes down, there may be something here for the T side. They managed to get 2 kills back after what was a dominant start. Mono, in fact, has found another one. Keto in the corner will be there with Searson, however, to make that the 7th round, the second pistol going the way of the CT side.
It's unfortunate for the T side because I don't mind the setup that they have. They throw down the smoke at the end corridor and then the smoke at the window to kind of block off the market positions. But when that went down, the CTs already had too many players inside the bomb site, and they had nothing for them. I saw the flashes on the T side players, but didn't really see any effect of those. Speedy and the guys were able to dance around them, and yeah, then a pistol round is not really going to work your way. This one is should be an easy one. Full eco for Illuminar. And then the buy up in the next one. Speedy might get pressured here, but with an MP7 and a Molotov, he should be fine.
I feel like Speedy and the guys sounds like some sort of smooth jazz band.
Speedy and the guys.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's Speedy and the guys.
I would listen to that. Jazz is an underestimated art form.
Well, 9-8. We finally get ourselves the buy from Illuminar. The SG's in full force. Pearson as well, going to be getting aggressive into the palace. He is going to be met with resistance, but not much of it. It's Innocent who goes down. One of the top players so far for this Illuminar side is gone without really much of a chance. And now with the setup getting ready to come in, they'll be missing a vital piece. It's whether or not they can get these openers, it's whether or not they can get past this AWP. You expect there to be a couple of flashbangs to leave it blind, and well, Stomp with an instant headshot is definitely going to help him out, but the return flashbangs working wonderfully, and Keto with a double spray down leaves just 2 remaining. Dennis trying to hide the trade, somehow coming back in.
They actually make it work, somehow, some way. If they can get the bomb down, it's a big advantage. But oh, Mono finds Speedy, and it's done. Mono with 3 frags.
Yeah, again, it definitely seems like he's had his moments over the last couple of maps. Still fairly quiet in this one, but that is one hell of a way to step up into the server. And it does seem to be a couple of individuals sort of dragging the teams through, like Keto still right at the top of the board. Only 2 of the players within the Sprout roster currently in double digits. Searson, Dennis, and Faven all struggling, which a bit of a surprise considering Spiddy's been the sort of quieter player throughout the series so far, that when he steps up, that it seems like the other players aren't there with him. Of course, Keto's the consistent factor throughout. Yeah.
Full eco. Keto, of course, with a deagle and a small armor, as we would expect. And the T side know that our biggest chance if we're up against the stack is probably on the A side, so let's just try and walk in there. Sprout also knows that their best chance if stacking is on B, so this should be a rather eventful or event-less round. As Oscaris will find 1 here, and that should be it. If Sprout go in here to deny a few weapons, they'll probably just get shot down, and Illuminar will send Innocent in with the Mac 10 to hunt some frags. Okay, forget about that. Oscaris just needs to get the hell out of there. And now he's gonna farm all this cash, all the money.
Ooh, okay.
Unless he gets shot in the head by Legal.
Okay. Keto always gets 1. They've made this at least a little bit costly.
Oscaris is so low on HP as well.
Yeah, luckily with the Deeg, it doesn't really matter. You have to connect those shots. But hey, 3 kills considering that they stacked the wrong site. It's kind of mad.
Sprout are very happy. They'll also save an SG. Like, this is... If we ask them before the round, you can get 3 kills and a saved SG, they'll say, oh yeah, we don't need to play the round. It's fine. Just give us that.
Hand it over. Yeah. Especially if you told them that in a 5v5 the bomb was down.
Yeah.
I think
that's the best case scenario for them.
Well, 11-8. Illuminar still keeping the scoreline in their favor, but the CT side now have their purchase. I expect much better things from Searson on this CT side. He really has to try and rule middle.
Slightly CT-sided for Illuminar stats-wise this map. Win around 53% of their rounds on the CT side, so not too big of a difference. Definitely should have a chance to finish this with a 3-round advantage. Execute onto B, and Speedy's there.
Ready and waiting, and Faven, he's done a lot of damage, but Reitz is still standing. However, the majority of his team aren't, and Innocent very late trying to push back in. A flawless CT round coming out from Sprout, a great way to get back onto the board.
It seems like, at least in the last couple of rounds, the only times where Illuminar actually wins rounds on this T side is when something individually really, really great happens. Every single time they try and go for a execute or a big play, big strategical chance, it just doesn't work for them. It all comes down to their individuals just shining. And if they don't, the round is pretty much over, like we just saw it. There was no success coming into B with that play. Completely shut down. Also because of the great play coming in from the CTs, yes, but you can't really always rely on individual actions.
Well, one of the guns is already going to hit the floor. And I imagine it's going to be Stomp going to try and pick it back up, but...
No refrag potential?
Yeah, just running in individually here, and well, Sprout are going to take these sort of duels all day long. More rounds like this, please, sir. Stomp and Mono. Well, just Stomp remaining. He was just on the wrap around to try and pick up a weapon.
And in this case, like 1v5 with a minute left, there's no way he can save you, though. So that's why he's not saving right now. There's too much time and too many CTs still alive for him to attempt a save.
This has been a really peculiar match.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen this many 5 survive rounds. Like there was at least like 3 or 4 when it came to the previous CT half.
Yeah.
And now we've just seen 2 out from Sprout back to back as well. It's almost like the opening kill pretty much just decides who's going to win the round. And it's an odd one considering it's so close. When you see matches like that where a teammate is able to dominate rounds so heavily, normally it's a Stomp.
Yeah.
But instead,
back and forth.
Yeah, it's a weird one. And Walt Faven.
There's Blender again.
Battling to see who can get the most kills in that round. 3 in a row. Their money is going to be at a ludicrous standpoint.
All right, Tom. This is it. 11-11. Full buy for both teams. Third map. We need to see something now from Illuminar.
Who's going to win?
I have no idea.
If you had to choose, if your life depended on it.
I would probably say Sprout.
See, I thought you weren't going to answer, and the next thing I was going to say is, like, if I was going to steal your dog. That was...
Oh, that's actually, that's way worse
Yeah.
than losing my life. Yeah, that's true.
Well, your dog is adorable.
Thank you.
So I would happily steal your dog.
You will not be allowed. T-side of Illuminar needs to find a way back into this game, and the attempt right now is with 5 SGs, and with the current meta, I can't really blame them. That would be the answer, but just take a mental image of this. We have a game of Counter-Strike going on right now, Tom. What weapons are we playing with? 9. We have 9 SGs and 1 AWP on the server. Someone screenshot this and send it to csgo@valvesoftware.com and just say, this is not okay.
Send it to Sponge. Like, I feel like...
Oh, that would just trigger.
It would probably punch a hole through a monitor. This is...
Yeah.
Tragic. That's what I'm going to call this round. But we'll see. Who is the SG King? Who is SGesus? As Keto.
Yeah.
He's going to be the one to kick it off.
He's
and a
definitely a
second
good
as well. Oscarish looking for the trades back, but it's going to be the CT side in such a dominant position here, leaving just Oscarish alone and doesn't know that Faven's still behind him. Sprout now take the lead after a streak of 4 rounds back to back.
There was nothing in there. There was no, like... What was the execute for the T side? Where was the smokes, the flashbang timings, the Molotovs?
It was headshot with SG. That was the strat.
That's not a strat, Tom. That's just like matchmaking stuff. We don't need that.
Works.
Tough times. Sprout, though, are pretty happy about it. Definitely satisfied with the outcome so far. B play coming in now quick for the T side.
With limited money, they're going to just try and force the issue, and somehow, I think this is actually the best they've done so far. 2 entry kills into the site. Bomb actually fairly easy to recover and get it back down. Stomp actually going to be boosted into the corner, and with so much utility, you still have to give the favor over to the CT side. Dennis quickly gets an entry kill back into the side, which is going to be important, and the timing from Keto peeks into the Molotov and catches out Reach. The remaining 2 players with so little to fight back with. They need to do something very impressive indeed, and Oscarish has managed to kill almost with the second, just 1 more bullet needed. But it is going to be another round for Sprout, much closer than the last few.
Interesting.
They're into the lead.
We're going to get 1 AK at least on the T side if they want full utility. The full money bonus, even $900 will get you something. Will get you somewhere. So Sprout now with a great chance to just shut down this Illuminar team completely if they take this round home. Using another pause here, and that's fair enough. things have not been going their way in these last 5-6 rounds.
Well, yeah, this is the longest streak of rounds we've seen throughout the whole map.
Yep.
Well, it was even in the last round with 5.
5 in a row.
Other than that, it's just been, well, maximum of 3, which came out from the T side. So realistically, what I'm trying to say is the maximum amount of rounds that Illuminar has been able to win back-to-back is 2.
Keto is 24-14. That's also pretty insane. Oh, Dennis doesn't hit the movement. Can't get on short. Has to smoke himself off. They're actually just running for the B play, but the bomb is so far back mid. Not quite sure what the idea is here. They got 2 players in the ladder room, but Rietz will get that first one. Fevin perhaps underestimating his opponents a little bit there.
And Dennis has been caught out as well.
Once again, like 2 CTs die in areas where they cannot be refragged by their teammates, even though they're only a few meters away.
It just seems like domino effect. One player goes down, the rest try and risk it, and Spitty not expecting there to be another player around the corner. This is looking like a surefire round for the T side now as Keto is left standing. He has been, without a doubt, the best player for this Sprout roster throughout the tournament so far. I think if he wins this one, Illuminar should just call it quits, because a 1 versus 4 turn 3.
He should go for it and see how much damage he can do in this situation. There's so much money on his team side. If he can deny just one of these weapons, that'll be fine. That'll be great. Coming into this next buy. So by all means, Keto, just go for it. There's no reason to save here.
Well, I think the only reason would be to keep the SG.
Yeah, but still, like...
Could buy 5 auto snipers in the next round if they really want to.
They could do whatever they want, Tom.
It seems like he might just be waiting to see which direction they're actually going to exit. Oscarish obviously having to get away because only 13 HP for him. He'll hear them running through, but it seems like Keto is actually just going to opt to save that SG. He's been doing a lot of good work with it, so you can kind of understand the reason why.
That's fair enough. And as Wu-Tang Clan says, cash rules everything around me, so you gotta save that dollar bill, y'all.
Dear Lord.
It's a general rule in life, Tom.
I'm not sure you necessarily should live your life by the Wu-Tang Clan.
That's exactly what I'm doing. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, a lot of aggressive pushes coming into mid. In fact, Oscarish is just looking to run all the way onto short, but he's going to be caught by Dennis. This time not so aggressive, just sat within the connector, and it's the T's that actually lose the early man. As said, that seems to be one of the more deciding factors within this match so far, is those opening picks just seem to spiral out of control.
Dennis with a nice position as long as the smoke is here. We'll get another one. And now 5v3. There should be no way the T side, unless they pull out a miracle, get this round. Citizen rotating back into CT spawn. Illuminar, what's the play now? 3 players remaining. They have no smokes. They have only flashbangs and molotovs.
Yeah, this is going to be a really tough take, and I think the bigger problem for them at the moment is, we spoke about this being a brawl, being a battle of individuals. Their individuals on the T side have slowed down to a halt. Like, Innocent was playing very well, has gone quiet.
They have 3 individuals against 5 individuals.
Yeah, mathematically it doesn't look good. Keto as well on the site is going to be shut down by Mono. Searson needs a kill here and we'll find it at that. Not a whole lot of time either for the T side to work with.
They're so far apart right now, the 2 Ts. And there's no chance for Innocent to come and help his teammate, and now he's in a 1v4. This is tough.
But the other thing as well is that, like, I don't really know what Stomp was doing with the AWP, because when he walked into that angle, he could not shoot. He was still doing the animation of actually getting the gun out. So he basically just went, you know, I'm going to peek into this angle in a moment where I'm just holding up my hands.
That's not a good strategy.
Unless you're being arrested, in which case.
That's good. We have many, like, general life advice coming in right now. That's good.
Useless advice, but, you know.
I think most of what we're saying is correct.
1 minute we're saying listen to the police. The next we're saying listen to the Wu-Tang Clan. I'm not sure how much of a crossover there is with those two.
You gotta take the things you want, okay, Tom, with you. You can disregard some of it.
You know,
It's up to everyone else.
All of it, you know. Don't listen to the police.
Generally disregard whenever Tom says anything. That's just the rule of thumb.
Considering one of the last things I said was listen to the police, if people are going to disregard that, just disregard it away from me.
All right, back to the game. Desert Eagle on mono. He's sacrificed himself so the rest of the team can enjoy his many utilities.
I feel like they may not be able to, though, if he goes around this corner.
That is...
Oscar, how has he managed to get out of the palace? Nobody's actually spotted this. He's going to be able to come in from behind. A big surprise, and that's the big play from him. Stepping up to the mark, the remaining 2 players on the CT side. Well, they have money. They could look to do damage here, but...
It's at a point now where you have so much money that you might be able to buy for the rest of the half, or the rest of the game, actually. So, to some extent, you should try and at least like deny some of the weaponry from the T side. And I think that might be the thought pattern now for them to go into T-spawn to see, okay, if they go there to save, we can try and take the battle. Because with like between 5 and 9K on the CT side, plus money bonus when they lose rounds, there should be no way that they end up without any money in the end. But if they're gonna save 2 weapons, maybe just not give the satisfaction to the Ts. Save those M4s.
It also means if things do go wrong a little bit later on, that they make sure they have enough money to get that AWP, get everything that they want moving forward.
Yeah.
And while at 14-13, it's coming down to crunch time for either of these sides. It was a long hiatus from the board for Illuminar. Now they're just going for these brute force plays, these aggressive pushes. Nice shot from Searson. Has a chance to get the second, but the bomb needed to make its way through. However, it's been dropped. Onto short.
You've seen all the shots so far. Speedy under pressure.
I think he was expecting that smoke maybe to go a little bit further. Dennis actually goes down. See, the bomb still drops, so there's not really too much at the moment, at least, that they can do about it. Spitty can't really afford to go down without a fight. They haven't actually rotated the majority of their defense here. Stomp, dipped up. Spitty still standing, but not for long, as Mono will clear him out. And now the pincer comes in. I'm not sure what the other 2 players on the other side of the map are actually doing. They had opportunities to rotate. They had opportunities to help their teammates. But the fact that a player manages to get in through short is a bit of a worry. Keto also going to be missing the shot. And with 2 AWPs trying to make this retake work, it's going to be a tough scenario. At least they're playing at range, but Searson now tagged down to 3 HP. I think this just falls into a save once again, and that is a round thrown away from Sprout. It seemed like they had everything in their favor.
Once again, a 3v5 turned into not 5 kills, but 4 kills and Searson on 3 HP. Searson starts the round off, getting 2 kills, calls the rotation. The T side are coming in towards the B side from both B apartments and short. They even like get control of the bomb. Speedy knows there's at least 1 player up in B apartments. Like, they got everything they need, all the information, all the beginning kills. And somehow, some way, I know that Mono's ST spray hit with the last bullet, that's pretty random. But still, like, that should not be allowed.
Also, I wonder how they managed, because I'm sure that Searson was holding on to short.
Yeah.
So I don't know how that player managed to wrap back around and get him from behind. It may be a missed shot that we didn't see, but
that's a good question.
Definitely cost them, because that lost them control of the bomb and pretty much lost them the round. So now we're going to see Sprout now calling in a tactical pause. It is 14-14. Illuminar have stepped up right when it mattered.
Sprout looking very focused right now.
Well, we've already seen 1 overtime in this match. A 16-13 second map as well, so we've been gifted with all of the rounds within this series.
Blessed, Tom, with overtimes. And I'm saying overtimes in plural.
Okay.
You know what that means.
I'll say he's still a buy on the board, of course, for Sprout. That is the advantage they've given themselves of building up such a bank over the 5-round streak they had. Still, the T's over the last few, have managed to build up some money themselves. It's looking like we're going to have buys to the end of the match, or at least the end of regulation. And with 16K overtime a possibility, who knows, but a couple of missed shots, a couple of opportunities. k1to still standing strong on the A site. Molotov there to force Pearson off. He's actually going to go back for the peak, but with only 2 HP, it's a risk, but it doesn't matter. He was hit by the AWP anyway. k1to, once again, has to stand strong. He's got Faven for support. He's actually pushed through the Molotov and lines them up. Sprays down 2.
Perfect timing as well. The rotation can come in from behind. They have these 2 key players locked in this connector. Innocent. Looking to find kills, but in a very, very pressured situation.
Yeah, and the problem is the CTs don't have to move at all. 30 seconds left on the clock. It has to be down, mainly to Innocent, because Stomp can't really peek any of these angles. He's only got
no
20
flashbangs
HP.
either. There's no utility.
And
they have
Faven
to win
knows it.
duels.
That's why Faven's hiding in the corner. Doesn't need to face this, times it quite well. 15 seconds left. It looks like Innocent's going to try and double this back round to the B side. Not a bad call to make,
rotation.
but they will actually catch him off. 15-14, Sprout back into the lead. Their first series point. A chance to send the Polish guys home and make their way through into the semifinals. Face off against Crazy, I believe.
Again, a chance for Innocent or for Sprout to send their former player home. Innocent did have a stint with the team, so there's definitely some connection there.
Well, yeah, I think we saw in one of the interviews that they clearly have a large amount of respect for each other. They play each other on a regular basis. And at the same time, you're not going to like the guy that sends you home.
No, definitely not.
Well, we'll see. Are Sprout going to be able to do it? There's been mistakes made in the last round even. It started off well, but this time Pearson is going to be getting that opening pick. It could be the beginning of the end for Illuminar. A change needs to happen. It's looking like they're going to try and split this site once again. The flash is good. Oscarish is tagged. k1to still going strong with the rifle and leaves just 2 standing. Stop. Make it just mono. He's been a bit quiet in this one, and Sprout will send them packing. They make their way through to the playoffs, through to the semifinals, and unfortunately for Illuminar, just the small details that send them home. An incredibly close series. We could have seen them even 2-0 it. Yeah, they managed to take the second map, but it wasn't to be. And in this third one, a 16-14 finale. And pretty much exactly what we said, a 50-50 going into it here.
Very close game, and Sprout coming up on top in the end. Illuminar with a strong fight though. Like they have to like go back and think, okay, yes, there were so many small chances we had that we could bring this one back, but didn't really manage to execute in the end. So definitely something to go back and work on.
Well, either way, I know that we've kind of done enough talking here. We're going to go over to the man with the beautiful mustache and a man who's got some beautiful muscles, and then just the wonderful Christine, of course.
I know which one I am.
The guy who's never right?
You were right. You were right, yeah. I got to give it to you. Your prediction was definitely right this time around, but I think either way we throw it, we knew this one had the potential to be really close, and this is about as close as it can get.
It really was. It felt like it was a never-ending game. Felt like both teams, I think we said it in the green room as well, it wasn't necessarily the most beautiful Counter-Strike game. It was very intense. 2 teams that was matching up very well against each other. And in the end, Sprout, for whatever reasons, managed to pull out as the winners. I think came down to k1to a lot. I think he had a great series once again. We talked about him coming into it, playing with a lot of confidence right now, being very aggressive. He also did some AWPing in this game, so turns out he's a very versatile player, and I think Sprout has a lot to thank him for.
They definitely do, and man, this was such a scrappy game. Both of these squads had to grind and fight and claw for each round that they won, and it was so close, thinking back all the way back to that train, making it all the way to OT. Even the second map almost went into OT.
Yeah.
I really think that Illuminar kind of lost the ball here. At 11-9, they forced, and they only had pistols, 2 SGs, and I know the SGs are so strong, but after that, they had to save for 2 more rounds in addition, and all of a sudden, they found themselves at a 2-round deficit. So I think when they look back at this, they're going to think, maybe we should have saved up and had everyone full units, full weaponry, and Yeah, it was a tricky one for sure.
I'm really interested to actually talk to Sprout. We have their coach standing by right now because this is one of those moments when all of a sudden you get into a rematch. What's even going through your head before you guys sit down and start this game?
Well, nothing. We honestly just talked about yesterday what went wrong. We know best of one, anything can happen. And honestly, we've played them like in the last week or last month. We played them 5 times. 4 of them were online, or 3 of them were online, which we were able to win quite convincingly in all honesty. When it comes to LAN, everybody's a bit struggling, everybody gets nervous, and a lot of them just had really good matches, which kind of caught us off guard.
Kido had a great series once again. He was playing well yesterday as well. What is it with this kid? Is he the new star of Germany?
I hope so, man. I hope so. I hope he stays with Sprout as well. But he's playing really lights out here yesterday and even today. So kudos to him for playing really well and carrying us.
Now, when we spoke to Speedy earlier today, he did mention that you guys are kind of known for starting off the matches and the tournaments a little bit slower. And we definitely saw that yesterday. And we even saw that a little bit earlier on today. Is that something that you guys are consciously trying to improve on? Or is that something you guys are embracing and you're like, we always make it back into the match?
Yeah, we know we have a good mentality and we can always come back in every match. It really doesn't matter to us how much we are down. We just got to keep a positive attitude, have a good team chemistry, a good atmosphere within the rounds, and have some fun, enjoy the game, and then we can come back.
Well, you guys made it to Sunday. We'll see you then. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Yeah, I think it's a really important thing to think about when we look at these squads, when we look at Sprout in particular now. Do you think that this is a team that has gotten a little bit more acclimated to this LAN in particular? Have they found their legs here in this tournament?
Sure, they're playing better today, especially considering how bad it looked yesterday. I think the fact that this was such a scrappy win and we didn't really see any other player besides Kido step up to the occasions, I feel Sturson obviously had a great series as well with AWP. We expect that from him, especially on Nuke. He was being very, very assertive. But I think tomorrow they're facing Crazy in that semifinal, and they're going up against a lot of skilled players. So they need to step it up even more if they want to stand a chance of winning tomorrow. I think that being said, though, this is a big win for them. Coming into the semifinal at a tournament like this, beating Illuminar on LAN this time around is great for Sprout, right? Because they were not looking great after day 1.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty clear jump, right? If you can make it to Sunday, you've done a decent amount of the work. But do you think that this is a team, in your opinion, Potter, that can go for a run tomorrow? Or are you kind of sitting in Pimp's camp?
You know, I think Sprout, everything bodes well for them thus far. You know, we spoke about in the pregame how at EPL they kind of failed, but they showed us signs of life. Every round they're grinding out. But today, they ended up grinding out those rounds, but coming out on top. And that's not something Sprout are quite used to in the LAN environment, is grinding things out, then winning. They usually grind things out, then lose. So I think it bodes well for them if they're able to gain that confidence and come into tomorrow.
Yeah, positive momentum definitely going to be something that is important. But the other thing that is very important is going to be our final match of the night. You guys don't want to miss it. This one is going to decide who from Group B is going to move forward to that championship bracket. We're going to be getting into that matchup right after this.